Hello, loves. Hello, hello. It's Hills here from the Blue Flame Apothecary. How are you? How did you fare through that very powerful Pisces blue supermoon? It was a lot. It was very emotional. It was very emotional. And that can manifest in many ways. That can manifest as tears, as grief, as giddiness, as joyfulness, as anger. Like, how did it manifest for you, and what are you still processing? As I'm recording this on Friday, the full moon is now waning. It is coming back into its smaller form, moving away from the sun. And as I promised in my energy update for the Pisces full moon, today I am going to share a little bit about a portal that is open as we emerge out of the full moon that comes into exactitude on the 4th of September. This is a portal for karmic clearing, for ancestral and lineage deep diving, for accessing the Akashic Records in a profound way, for renegotiating contracts and cutting cords. All of this is really, really strong. I'm going to take us in because for me anyways, the energy of this has been a little bit, it's like, you know how when a deer gets in headlights, it stops in its tracks? This energy might feel a bit like that. Like, oh shit, what is coming? What is that? Part of this, the way that I'm feeling it, and this is how we're going to come in, and then I'm going to start to weave the cosmic energies that are holding this door open for us. What it feels like to me is that the veils, the curtain that usually blocks that dimension that we call the Akashic Records from our view, from our heart's sight's view point, kind of like a protective sheath, a protective curtain, keeping us from seeing things that we're not quite ready to see yet. This September the 4th energy has ripped that curtain off, ripped it right off. And the light that's emerging from this space is, the word devastating came in. It is just almost debilitating. It's so powerful. So what is happening in our skies that is creating this massive portal? Actually, I'm going to take that back a little bit, because it's not that the stars and the planets aligning are creating this portal. It's that this portal has been created and the stars and the planets are aligned to help hold it open. They are the energetic template, almost like a valet, giving you access to this space. So what are these planets and stars doing? How are they holding this door open for us? Let's start with Venus and Jupiter, shall we? There's a lot to cover, so I'm going to talk really fast, I have a feeling. I will make sure there's subtitles on the video so that you can keep up and track what's being said if that calls to you. All right, Venus and Jupiter. Venus is conjunct on the 4th of September Hecate in Leo. Hecate is the guardian of the crossroads and the keeper of the flame, the holder of a torch that allows us to see where we're going. See where we're going. Holds this torch to light our path. Venus is very closely conjunct to Hecate in Leo. Venus is also at 12 degrees and 12 minutes of Leo and turning around, starting to move forward again. Starting to move forward again. This is a slow process. Venus will be in shadow retrograde for another few weeks. However, at this moment that we come into the 4th of September, and the chart I ran is for 9:09 a.m. Pacific time, in case you're wondering, we find Venus slowly stopping and then turning around and slowly beginning a forward journey through Leo again. So that is already a beautiful place to play. Venus turning around, helping us to gather all of this stuff that we explored about our life force, about our creative energy, about our ability to manifest in the world. Venus rules both Libra and Taurus and is very connected to our relationship with manifestation. To our relationship with manifestation, to that which we create in the world. I'm not talking about, I would like a new house, let me manifest that. I'm talking about every single thought and everything single word we say creates the world around us. That kind of manifestation, that kind of life force energy. Okay, that is the true nature of Venus. That is the true expression of this energy. And we have just been moving backwards, coming into a deeper relationship with that knowing of self. And Hecate is there with that torch, lighting the way forward now that we can carry the new forward. At this same time, over in Taurus, that sign that Venus rules, remember, Jupiter, in an exact square to Hecate and a very close square to Venus, is actually stopping and starting to turn backwards, and will be moving very, 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 very slowly backwards through Taurus for the next couple of few months. Interestingly, on this day, guess who is with Jupiter almost exactly conjunct? None other than our friend Luna, the moon. So the moon has transit over the course of these few days since the Pisces supermoon, will have transited through the signs and arrived as Jupiter is turning around into retrograde motion to sit right there at Jupiter's side. The moon, let's start with the moon. The moon, let's remember, is a sort of divine feminine energy like Venus. It is connected to our unconscious and our subconscious mind, our unconscious and our subconscious patterns, our unconscious and our subconscious loves, emotions, physical states of being, all of the things that we hide from ourselves or that have been hidden from us, that take a little extra. Effort feels like the wrong word, though it's the one that's coming. Let me take a moment. That takes a little extra yes to get into. It takes a little extra yes. I will go there. I will look at that. I will see that. I will allow myself to witness that. And now Jupiter, whether forwards or backwards, expands. It makes everything bigger. So it's making Hecate's torch flame bigger. It's making all of the energies of what we can create in the world and our relationship to that bigger in that square with Venus. It is being touched by the moon, and our unconscious is becoming bigger. Our ability to access our unconscious is getting bigger. So already, can you start to feel Venus shifting forward in conjunction with Hecate, Jupiter shifting backwards in conjunction with the moon, both at the same time and in square to one another? This is already a powerhouse of energy to be able to work with, to tap into, to say yes to. And they're not alone. This is actually a T-square because Hygeia is exactly across the wheel, right in between, actually, Hecate and Venus, over in Aquarius at 13 degrees. Hygeia is miraculous healing. Hygeia is miraculous, fast awakening, a kind of feminine, Uranian sort of energy, if you want to use the feminine term, since we've already gone into feminine, masculine pretty deep already, so we'll stick with it. We'll keep playing that slide. The caduceus, the symbol of the Medical Association of America and of medical associations all over the planet, uses the symbol of Hygeia, the two serpents rising up the rod, which is actually an ancient symbol of the divine feminine and the divine masculine unifying and awakening up our spines. In case you hadn't heard that before. So this energy, Hygeia, this beautiful, quick-acting, healing energy, shining big, bold, bright, beautiful light across from Hecate, across from Venus as she turns back into forward motion, in square to Jupiter, conjunct the moon. So we have this ability to expand our awareness to all of these things as Jupiter takes that expanded ability inwards. It brings this access, it expands, it opens the door wider to our unconscious and our subconscious. In Taurus, this is very connected to our physical beingness, to our manifestation abilities, to the gifts and talents that we possess, and the way we bring them into the world, and the way we bring them into the world. So, now, you're starting to get the picture, right? Like, that is a massive, beautiful, amazing portal. At the same time, Mercury in retrograde, conjunct the Sun, both in Virgo, are trine to Jupiter and the Sun, bringing our communication and our outward expression of self into alignment, navigating the gifts held within our unconscious, the gifts held within our subconscious, to allow them to be brought more fully forward out into our expression of self in the world. While Chiron, the wounded healer, is sitting in trine to Venus and Hecate. So we have all this beautiful energy of Hygeia, this healing energy in opposition. And it feels important here to note that in the astrological wheel, when we say that something is in opposition, when something is across the wheel from something else, it is actually complementary, more like a color wheel. It's not a fight unless it's really being expressed from like deep shadow. Most of the time, when we have two things across the wheel from one another, they are complementing one another. They are saying, oh, here, I have this and you have this. Look, if we bring them together, there's a whole beautiful new array of beingness that's a gorgeous color. So here we can find Hygeia. We can find Hygeia shining her healing white light across the wheel, connecting it into the torch that Jupiter's already made bigger, that Hecate is holding, connecting us into our creative potential abilities that is Venus in Leo, in trine to Chiron. So this beautiful hot white light of healing energy and awakening is bouncing through the torch of Hecate, combining with all of that creative force, flipping it around as Venus is flipping around, and shining it, reflecting it right back into our wounds and into that place where our wounds are actually our gifts. This is not all, though. On this day, the nodes are very activated. The North Node in Aries, which is also where Chiron is, a little off from where Chiron is. There's not a conjunction there yet. There will be in the coming months. The North Node, however, is actually conjunct to Eris, the goddess of chaotic creation. The goddess of chaotic creation. We can think of Eris as Big Bang energy, of let me feel, because there's a way that she wants to express right now. A lot of times Eris is connected to discord, to Pam Gregory often calls her the street fighter, which I think is beautiful. But one of the strongest templatings that Eris shows to us is that we don't always know what we don't know. If we can let go of this idea, these thoughts, these thinkings, these mental, just got mental masturbations, but yeah, let's go there. But why not? That we are doing so that we can try and, I will think my way into a solution. Eris is like, no, you won't. You could feel your way into a solution. You could open up and allow the solution to emerge from within you, to connect into that aspect of yourself that has already found the solution and open up and receive it. This is what chaotic creation is. This is what it means to say, I am going to let go. I'm going to let go of these old ideas of how to create in the world so that I can make more space for the amazing way that the world creates all around us. And we simply are asked to tune in and say, I can grow this new fruit. I can grow this new state of being. I can grow this new remembering. Eris also will not let you sit on your laurels, my friends. She is not going to say, oh, I know the timing doesn't really seem right to live your truest soul path. It's complicated, and there's this thing over here and there's that thing over here. Just sit on the couch. It's cool. Just wait. Eris is going to be like, no, it is time. Let's go. So on September 4th, while all of this other stuff is happening with Mercury and Chiron and Jupiter and Venus and Hecate and Hygeia, the North Node is conjunct to Eris. And so this is basically rocket fuel for your soul journey. It is saying, it is time. Let's go, let's go, let's go. However, we have a lot of retrograde motion right now. So getting into the race car and just driving might not feel like the appropriate move. And part of chaotic creation is also disintegration. And that is what I'm actually feeling. That is what I'm actually feeling this September. The 4th is bringing us closer into contact with, and it's what will be running through most of the rest of this year. However, as the disintegration is happening, we are building the new, and that is part of chaotic creation also. It's not, okay, I'm going to lay these bricks over here. I'm tearing out the kitchen. I'm retiling the floor underneath the stove that I just ripped out. Everything's all happening at once, and it feels like your head might be spinning. Speaking of head spinning, I promised that this portal, this door, is opening us into the Akashic Records in a profound way. That it's cord cutting and it's revealing old karmic patterns and finding those places where our connection to the world and how we have been operating is based on old programming that we have been holding for generations. And that's where the South Node comes in. The South Node is being lit up in Libra, which is connected to our relationships. It's our connections to the world around us, to the people around us, to the ways that we exist in the world. It is our connections. The South Node is making an exact conjunction to Ceres, the goddess of the harvest. Reaping what we sow. Reaping what we sow. We think about the South Node. This is our old ways of being. This is the way we have operated throughout past incarnations. This is our most comfortable place in some ways. That's actually pretty fucking uncomfortable. Ceres is saying, you reap what you sow. Plant seeds so that you may harvest in the future. And in conjunction with the South Node, Ceres is saying, look at these seeds that you have planted. Are you ready to harvest and to let go into the compost pile all the stuff that isn't yours anymore? All of the things that you're carrying from past lives, through your bloodlines, through your lineages, from the soul group that you incarnated from, that could hold deep traumas based on the way that soul group has been operating in various ways, the things that have been asked of that soul group. They are also exactly conjunct Osiris. Osiris is the remembered king. Osiris was embattled, under constant attack from his brother. Until his brother finally, in frustration and anger and because of his own wounds and senses of disempowerment, literally dismembered Osiris and strew his parts all over Egypt. Sometimes all over the world is the story, and I kind of like that one. We could even say all over the cosmos, all over the universe. Isis, sister wife of Osiris, after a period of grief, gathered together all of Osiris's pieces and membered him back together. Remembered him. Put all of his pieces back together. It was through this and their unification at that point that Horus was born. In this conjunction with the south node, with Ceres, Ceres is also Demeter, and also Arcturus, but we'll get there in a minute. We find Osiris showing us that flayed man, that splayed out, open, raw. The way that I'm feeling Osiris in this particular conjunction during this 4th of September portal is that part of Osiris that is still dismembered. That part of Osiris that is still dismembered. And part of what we are being gifted through this portal is witnessing that in us. Those places where we have cut off our hand to spite our arm, where we have said, I don't like that part of me. I don't like my thighs. I don't like my thighs. And we just are constantly sending this message to our poor thighs. I don't like you. And then we wonder why maybe they hurt. It can get really tangible. It can get really tangible is what I'm saying. But it's also that part, that aspect of our being, that old pattern that maybe we try and overly impress someone when we meet a new person, or we get really anxious at the idea of leaving the house every time we leave the house, or if we've invited people over, we overconsume wine because we are so nervous. What are they going to think of my house? What are they going to think of the food that I prepared? Like all of these sorts of things. And because this is Libra, that sort of relationship and connection to those that we interact with on a daily basis, or new friends, lovers, all of the things are really going to be lit up through this portal. Let me feel. Yes, Arcturus, I feel you. So, the conjunction with Arcturus is not exact. Arcturus is about a degree away. About a degree away. Maybe 2 from the south node. However, because of this massive amount of energy, and 2 degrees is already pretty tight conjunction, the gateway to the way station, to the Akashic Records, is being held open. And it's not where are we going so much as where have we been? Where have we been? And with all this retrograde energy right now, that is even stronger. That is even more lit up. I just keep hearing lit up. It is this bright portal. Ooh. Because we're talking about karma, it behooves me to mention that Saturn and Magdalena are exactly conjunct once again in Pisces, with Saturn moving retrograde. They are also conjunct a star called Fomalhaut. In the Pisces new full moon update, I spoke a little bit about these energies, but one of the pieces that is really loud right now, one of the things that I'm hearing is this conjunction is helping us to access those places that we have had a hard time seeing about ourselves. old stories about us that we've been telling ourselves, about our spiritual practice, about who we are from a spiritual perspective, about our heart and how it feels. About our heart and how it feels. Whew. So, as you can see, September 4th is a big day. I've just given us a bunch of the cosmic players that are helping to hold this bright, bright door open, who are shining the light on it and from within it and saying, here, 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 with all the arrows pointing at it. This is the place. Come here now. So how do you work with this energy, right? That's the big question. One of the beauties of a portal this big, of a doorway that's shining open this wide and bright, is connecting into it isn't going to be all that hard. It isn't going to be all that hard. It's intent. It's intent. So what does a meditation to journey into the Akashic Records look like for you? Is it sitting with a notebook and a pen and allowing some free flow writing? Free flow writing is a very Piscean sort of activity, writing from the heart, writing from the heart. And with the Sun and Mercury over in Virgo doing their dance as part of this, that could be a really powerful way to work with this energy. What stories do I need to see about myself? I really enjoy writing a question and then allowing the answer to be the free flow. Questions that feels like a really strong way. So sitting in meditation, allowing a question to come through about your journey, about where you've been. Something, do I need to release something? Do I need to do something? Do I need to see something? Do I need to hear something? What have I been afraid to see about myself, about my relationship with other people, with my partner, so on and so forth? These are questions. You can write them in a journal. You can say them as part of your prayer before you go into the dream time, before you go into sleep. And you can call upon the Anubis and all of the guardians of the Akashic Records. Please, as I traverse the astral and causal planes in my dreamtime journey, grant me access to the Akashic Records, that I may see, that I may experience, that I may remember that which I need to remember, so that I can let go of what I don't need to carry anymore, so that I can renegotiate these contracts, so that I can come into a deeper soul-aligned path forward, so that I can come into a more heart-aligned path forward. That's actually one of my favorite ways. That's one of my favorite ways, the dream time. Silent meditation with a tree, like back leaned against the trunk, asking the Dryad spirit to hold you and support you, to help you connect in with your roots as you connect in with the Dryad's roots, with the tree's roots, to branch up and out into the cosmos, into the great beyond, and connect in with all of the places that we've been. There's a reason that we construct a family tree, and through this tree meditation, you can do that. When I work with trees in this way, I often like to leave an offering of gratitude afterwards, a crystal, some herbs, a flower, whatever. The tree will tell you what it wants. Or if you were called to that tree, the tree may have called you in, and the gift that you give the tree is actually answering and saying yes and doing the meditation with that tree. So stay open. It could be many things, and often is not what you think it's going to be. Remember. I also have a really beautiful and powerful cord cutting meditation, which I have just made public over on my members portal and Patreon. I'll put a link below. And for the entire month of September, I'm offering that as a free meditation for us all to journey with. It helps us not only to access the cords that are connected into us from outside, but also to access those places where we have connected cords into other people, places, and things. And to remove all of those cords that are not actually serving us anymore. Let me feel. Of course, there's always the soul path journeys with me. And if that calls to you, this would be an amazing time to request a consult or, book a natal chart transmission, whatever it is that calls to you. There will be a link below for the blueflameapothecary.com, which will take you to the page where you can request that. Let me feel. One of my absolute favorite ways to journey with this type of energy, besides the dream time, is taking long walks or walking a labyrinth. But since labyrinths are not always available for everyone, let's go with the taking a long walk. One of the things that I'll do is the moment that I leave my house, I set the intent for the walk, and I allow, rather than having a destination, I say, allow me to walk through those places and by those people and receive the messages that are around me that I need to receive, that will help guide me into the places deeper within me that I'm being asked to access in this moment. Through that, as I'm walking, as I branch out, much like if I was walking a labyrinth, I find myself meandering around the city or wherever it is I happen to be. I find myself called to stop at one or more places, to sit, to be, to take in, to work energy, to shake and scream and sing in light language and all of the things that I might be called to do, to commune with animals or plants, with the sun, whatever it might be. At some point, I will understand that the releasing and the uncovering aspect of this walk has reached its center point, and I find my center there. And I let whatever is not mine anymore to carry start to float away even more. Anything that is ready to release, sometimes I'll call in the violet flame, the violet blue flame. And I allow myself to open up even wider, even more fully, to receive from above and below, the new that's now available to me into the space that I have created within my being through this journey that I have made. When that has equalized within my system, I return, not usually the way I came, unlike a labyrinth, but I start to make my meander back towards my starting place, back towards my origin place. Through that, again, as I did on the walk out, I commune where I'm asked to commune. I sing and I dance and I howl and I play. This time, though, rather than releasing, it's integrating. It's integrating. It's integrating. It's allowing all of that new that has been born to come more and more fully, more and more wholly into my system, to anchor into my earth star and into my heart, into my root and into my third eye, into my throat and into my solar plexus, into my navel, into my causal, into my soul star. I allow it to do all that it needs to do in my system. And as it flows, I flow and I walk. And by the time I arrive back at my house, and many, many times, I feel kind of like a completely new person. Whatever it was that was happening for me when I left the house, whatever thoughts were spinning and swirling, by the time I get home, it's a whole new, expanded, opened, exploratory, and curious state of being that I find myself in. Usually very heart expanded, very heart expanded. I would love to hear from you in the comments if there's anything that really clicked for you. I want to share before I close. I know this has gotten really long. I didn't expect it to be. Sorry about that. Thank you for sticking with. This portal is now open, and it will be open through all of next week. The peak is on Monday, the 4th of September on the Pacific coast. So if you're in Australia, the peak is kind of the 5th of September, more so than the 4th, because this stuff is all happening pretty early in the morning here on the Pacific coast of California. Running up into it is a powerful time to start building your foundations for working with this energy. And if you can find 15 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to go and really get in there and explore your beingness, your soul's journey on the 4th, that would be absolutely fabulous. That would be amazing. I have a feeling that long walk journey is what I will be doing personally. Let me feel. I think we're going to close there. If there's anything that you feel called to share in the comments about your journey, about what you discover as we move through this portal, I would be so grateful and honored to witness that in the comments. If you liked this video, definitely like it. If you're not already subscribed, please do. And as always, in always, from, through, and beyond the all dimensions, so much and many loves to you.